Well, this is Cardo's Media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.
Yo, you don't know. This is Trilogy, straight out of Dominica, and you're tuned in to Cardo's Media. Don't blame the messenger. Boom!
Well, this is Cardo's Media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.
Yo, you don't know. This is Trilogy, straight out of Dominica, and you're tuned in to Cardo's Media. Don't blame the messenger. Boom! Yo, good afternoon to the world and beyond. Hope everybody is doing well today. We're doing a special broadcast today. We have Empress Yes and No just joining us to say yes or no. And we have young boy Fido and your boy Cardo's in the building.
Definitely.
How is everybody doing? Share the live once you come in. Share the live.
Share the live one time.
Don't play coy.
Definitely. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Cardo's Media. We have a very special episode for you guys. Hopefully we can engage in a fruitful discussion, I believe.
Yeah, man, the discussion has to be fruitful and multiply, man, Because if it's not fruitful and multiplying, it doesn't make no sense.
It doesn't make no sense, man. I can agree to that.
How are you going, Fido?
They're going good, man. I can't complain. I get thanks, And yours?
Thanks for life. So yeah, I just said that we come live and have a little discussion, because we talking in the background there, and it's like I want the world to hear the conversation, because it's like it doesn't make sense that we keep talking amongst ourselves and not spreading the word for everybody else to know,
Yeah.
Because it's the situations that is taking place in our society that needs to be brought to light. First and foremost, let me say my condolences to the family and friends of the young lady who passed at the NEC High School in Londonderry, Wesley. It's a tragic and heartbreaking situation that we have been faced with as a country and as a community. And I would like to just say condolences to the family and friends, to those who have lost a loved one in that aspect. So
Definitely.
That's where I'm at with that one. Fido, you have anything to say on that?
Basically, no, man, I just agree with you. It's a very sad and very sad time for us in the Northeast and Dominica by extension. So I just wanted to reiterate you and extend condolences to the family and friends of the young lady. Yeah.
Empress, yes, and you say yes or no, right? You're extending your condolences?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, man. So with that situation there, as we bring it to a head or a breast, bringing the topic up, how do you feel? Is there improvement that need to be made in that for situations like that not to take place again?
Yeah, man. Definitely. I believe so. I believe we can look at the situation and say that there should be improvements made. And there can be improvements made, because it's just, I don't want to say it's an outdated system that we have, but we have to look, try to update our policies and our way of operations as the world around us change. Now,
True.
I looking at many aspects of the situation. I don't want to bash nobody right now. It's just a reflection stage and see where we can improve.
Where we can improve, make improve.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I was just thinking that is that I don't know, but the child should have had or could have had, once the child is aware of his or her situation, the child should have an emergency plan, a personal emergency plan set in place for when episodes happen. Understand? The first thing I believe is,
And I also believe in a first responder system to where there is we had this discussion before where there was where we said that we should have a first responder system to where one is prioritized for the airport and one is prioritized for domestic, because at this present moment they are prioritized for aeronautical emergencies.
emergencies. Yeah.
So if a plane is coming in, there is no first responder that's going to come respond to a medical crisis domestically.
And that in itself is the situation we have right now, but it also leaves us at a huge disadvantage. Nobody wants to put themselves in a situation where they would be in need of emergency services and to be told that the ambulance cannot come to you right now because it is occupied. You understand me? This is something we don't ever want to be hearing those kind of things. So we have to look at ways we can improve on that. I think talking about a solution, one of the easiest ways we can improve on that is just to dedicate, a domestic fire station ambulance vehicle.
Yeah.
To reallocate those equipments to a domestic centered station, and then we have the one that is mostly used for aviation purposes, because we cannot leave. It's a matter of our people. We can't leave our people unsecure.
True.
Can't leave our people unsecure.
But also, I was having a conversation with a gentleman the other day, and there's also where they don't have the firefighters are not trained in what they call that, like paramedic care.
All right.
So they basically they are trained to do basic stuff. So they can come and pick you up, pick you up and carry you to the hospital. They can
not
basically resuscitate you if you're having a episode and that kind of thing, So I believe, this is my belief, that some sort of training should be taken on into where the firefighters are brought up to speed in that kind of thing.
But I believe so, because I'm just understanding that as you made it clear, if we don't have if the fire officers are not even trained in paramedical care, well, the best way to do it is to improve your human resource. You understand me? You select a couple of officers that have some years in the field, and you let them know that you require them to do this course. You make it a requirement. Also, you want to reimburse them by giving them a raise on their salary for the knowledge that they have obtained, because you really want to have equipped officers around you in case of emergencies, especially with delicate and fragile life. So that is what we can improve our human resource. You understand me?
Yeah,
man. The officers capable of doing that. You push them through, but we have to obviously, give back in terms to the officers who make themselves available for that kind of a development in the salaries. So it has to reflect back in the salaries as well.
Because like the reason I even say that too, as we are having the this new flights coming into Dominica, the new airline. You get the United Airlines.
Yes.
It's coming in with more passengers. You also want to have people that are trained, and
of course,
it's a welcomed idea that we have this new flight coming in, but we also want to have trained individuals who can now be of better
assistance in terms of emergency
better assistance. In case of such emergencies.
Yeah, definitely, and that it just goes to show, man. It just goes to show that it's very important for us to for us to look at our systems and look at development, how we can develop our systems. Because yes, while we'll be having a new airline coming in with more passengers, I think 100 and something, 104 or so seated passengers. If there is to be any emergencies in Dominica, on Dominica soil, we don't want to be at a place where you have to call for foreigners to help us in an emergency situation. It will reflect badly on our systems and our policies, what we have in place for those things. Are we developing in terms of, yes, we just increasing flights, I guess, in an additional airline to Dominica, but is our medical persons, emergency persons equipped for that kind of demand?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, they're not trained. I know that they are not trained in, because okay, look at that. You know how many times we have accidents and stuff like that on the island? I am seeing
Blank.
to bring what?
The flight. They said the flight is to bring in voters for DLP. This viewer is saying.
Wait, what? How are you doing, Faith? I am just seeing blank.
Yeah, definitely.
No man, we there, man. We there, Granny. We there, man. But no, I will beg to differ on that statement that was made. The flight is to bring in voters for DLP. I don't think so. Faith, I don't think that is what the main objective for that flight is.
Yeah.
I think is a good approach. This is my opinion. I think it's a good approach for marketing our island. I also believe we need to do a little bit more aggressive marketing for our island, to where for instance, we have the direct flights to United. So now I believe that we should also use United as a pusher to make our, for instance, United they have advertisements on their flights. So now we have a commercial running on their flight saying island destination. We should also put hotel packages with said
airline
aggressive marketing. So where now we push for individuals who's traveling on United to come to Dominica. We'll give you 2-night stay or 3-night stay at Fort Young, or at this hotel or at that hotel, just to boost our economy. Okay, Richie, so why would they pay for all the empty seats in order for flights to come to Dominica? Who does that? Well, I want you to play that little piece from Dennis, from the tourism minister.
The tourism thing, I don't got it. I got it.
Because the tourism minister answered it, I think, quite adequately. I don't want to impede on anybody's toes in that
just now
thing, because I see that in other countries they subsidize plane seats. I'm not sure as to the extent of how many seats is empty, but I know they subsidize seats. So it's no new thing. What I believe is, again, in aggressive marketing. So let's say the plane is to come to Dominica on a Saturday, or I would even say on a Friday and leave on a Monday. So now it doesn't go back up empty. That could be a technique in where we market our island to say, we're giving you a 3-night stay in Dominica, and then when your 3 nights is over, the plane is going back up the Monday. You get what I'm saying, Fido?
Yeah.
So if that's something we could bounce around with our leaders as well. To our leaders, is that an idea that would make sense to you? I mean, it might be a little, because it would eliminate a lot of the cost, because now your flight is gonna be going back up with passengers and not just you fitting the bill.
Yeah.
For let's say the plane come down with 100 people. Now it's going back up with the same 100 people. You don't have to pay no bill. But let's say come down with 100 people, but go back up with 20. You have to pay the bill for the other 80 people that's missing. If that making sense.
Yeah. Definitely, I understand that.
So I think it could be. I mean, I don't know if the airlines would allow their plane to sit in Dominica for that long or that length of a period, but it's something that you can bring to the table. I'm not into aviation, so I don't know how it would work. I don't know. But I just think, because I've seen it being done in other islands. Like I've visited islands where the other day I went to Puerto Rico, 3-night stay. But I mean, Puerto Rico is busy, so the airline doesn't have to sleep there. But I took a package deal where I went there for a price. Before marketing the island, the roads.
We have a lot of things need to be organized and fixed up. We can agree to that. Definitely, a lot of things need to be fixed up.
I know we have a lot of major things that needs to be done to the island in order for us to move in a direction. But do you think that the island is moving? An international plane cannot stay over in an international country. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the answer. But then they can fly back to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
You know? Because then they would have an American cannot stay overnight in another country. Okay. So you see, that's why I said I am not in aviation, so I don't want to say something that I don't really know too much about. But what I know is, is like we have to market. So if we have to increase the stay of the people that's coming in, which hotel is gonna accommodate somebody for 6 days? It's basically like a reduced rate, because you don't want to sell the rooms too high to run them away, but then you don't want to not make a profit at the same time. So there'll be different marketing strategies on that aspect. I would think that's my opinion. Might be wrong. Why you say, Phil? I don't hear you don't say nothing. You just
no, I don't say nothing because I don't go into it too much, because I want to stay on path where we're talking about our emergency
system. Okay.
I really want to stay on path, because if we can figure out a way to develop and further structure our emergencies and increase our emergency capacity, that means we can handle more emergencies at a larger scale. Then that would be better, because in terms of the international airport, like I raised the question, how do we plan to, in my video, how do we plan to manage our medicals or our medical services and the task of having an international airport, which requires a certain level of medical readiness and preparedness for it to function properly? How do we plan to do those things? And that is how, if we really want to make way for an international airport, which may come in the next 10 to 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, then is now we have to start to make the implementations that is going to put us on the good path. Understand? And because we have the prime example here, we have the child. Now we can see I know there are many factors affecting the way things went down on Tuesday, but we have to put things in perspective, and we have to put this system in a better position, because let's say the school had an emergency plan for students like vulnerable students with known illnesses, then probably there'll be a faster response time to the incident.
Yeah.
You understand me? We have to look at those things. So then when we talk about our medical system, we don't really necessarily focus. We don't only talking about the hospital's capability, talking about on all aspects of it, because if we're talking about our revamping our medical policies, that means then all workplaces should have at least a fire extinguisher. All workplaces should have an emergency exit plan, emergency plan for different things that can happen in the workplace. So on a whole, if we're gonna really and truly look at that international airport, the most important one is that we have to look at how are we prepared to handle emergencies.
So our infrastructure, we have to start developing and working on our infrastructure.
Because we have a prime example is ever since 2025 started, the amount of crashes I've seen.
Yeah, the crashes level has gone up.
has gone up, which means that we need to be on that level, on that place where we can handle those accidents. I don't think it would be good for Dominica to have an incident happening on the airport, and we have to call for overseas support. I mean, it have situation we have to do that. It says we first need better medical facilities in and around the airport and the island. By extension, the roads need to be fixed and have better signage all around the road. So many other things needs to be done to attract customers and keep them coming back. He said, but all workplace and business is supposed to have by law, and that is true by law. But again, we do not reinforce those laws. And then when those laws are not followed, there's no accountability for that. There's no repercussions for that. So then is the thing is that there's business places supposed to have those things, but we have to ask the question: does all business places have those things? Do they encourage their employees to learn how to use those things in case of emergency? Do they have an emergency exit plan? Do they have an emergency plan? Do they have a disaster plan? All those things need to be revamped. All those things need to be looked into, because that is, I know one of the issues you have in Dominica is, how do you call it now, boy? They would not come into me, but we doesn't follow up on laws.
I think in Dominica we laid back too much.
The crazy thing is almost everything feels laid back.
Yeah, we laid back too much. So at the end of the day, we don't prioritize our how they call that, our business, because our business is supposed to be marketing our country. And at the end of the day, I don't think visitors don't come back because deplorable conditions. I think visitors don't come back because we don't encourage and we don't market our thing. We have to market our island. Our island is our gem. It's a gem in the world, in Dominica, but in my neck of the world,
it's a must. So that is something that needs to be looked into ASAP. Of course.
That is definitely true.
So yeah, man, we're looking at those things. So those things really need to be looked into ASAP, as she said, because we don't want to have a situation where, for some reason, let's say it's a viral illness happening at the school and children are still fainting, the same fainting kind of situation, and they need to call the ambulance, and one ambulance available to come to that particular school, wherever it is. How many students are going to be transported to the hospital or the health center? How are we going to do those things? How are we prepared? And the next thing, the equipment in the facilities, are limited, I should say.
True. I believe to answer fifth question, I believe if we have a more active nightlife, because the most times Dominica is active is during Independence time and Carnival time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most activity you will get in Dominica.
But and okay, so in terms of implementing a nightlife system for Dominica, then that would be, you have to the labor policies need to be revamped. Are we gonna be working out all night for the same amount of money? Is the lowest with low wage? Those things need to be looked into, because at the end of the day, while it sounds good, the policies following it needs to be better. It needs to make sense.
Especially medics in the schools. That was a topic we were discussing, and the answer to that scenario, there is no what they call that. There is no law requiring.
It's not a mandatory. Yes, it's not a mandatory requirement. But it would be very good if we can implement that in here in Dominica. But it's not a mandatory requirement at all.
What should be the mandatory requirement is that we have a staff on hand that is trained. That is trained to at least deal with minor medical emergencies. Not the major part, like if a child is out of breath, a child is choking, we have some first aid, a first aid staff member, a staff member
qualified,
qualified in first aid to be on staff.
Definitely. And that is a very good practice to have. But then we need to understand again, because I believe that Dominica have a serious issue in terms of continuity. I don't know why, but we have to ensure that whoever person we select in our schools to be the point person for first aid qualifications, that there needs to be a revamp every 2 years, I believe. So every 2 years, that
every 2 years
again. and then so you can be up to par with the latest and newest techniques. Also, I believe the school should have, if you have enough first aid operative or first aid qualified person on the staff, they should also have a complete first aid kit or a first aid duffel bag, so they can assist. You understand me? And I believe it's more than one person should have that qualifications in case that point person chokes up, because in medical emergencies, you never know what you're gonna meet, and you never know who the person is going to be. So what if that teacher's child is there and the teacher start to shock up or whatever?
Yeah, you
understand
need
me?
somebody
Then
else,
somebody
you need a
else
backup.
can take lead. No swear pegs in wrong pool.
We
Oh wow.
we also had another topic I wanted to touch on too, Fido, was where we had the incident in Bells where the road collapsed, or the road has been collapsing, and it collapsed to the point where it became almost impassable.
Yeah. It was impossible, yeah.
Almost, it wasn't impassable. It
It
was
was
almost
impossible.
impassable.
You see that rich man?
You will have to come up. You will have to just go up on the little curb a little bit, but it's
And
possible.
okay. And take out your silence on your vehicle.
Well, hey, whatever, it's possible. So I believe that we have become too reactive,
Reactive.
not
Yeah.
proactive. So, like you
But
see, we talking about the preparation for the schools and stuff like that. Those are things that are a reaction. We
yeah.
should have, we should try to put some of these things in place
Sorry
in
guys.
order for as we move forward. So,
Like I just said, because you have an issue of lack of continuity, that is when you have lack of continuity, you'll always find yourself reacting to things because you're not thinking ahead. Now, in the terms of that particular patch of road or piece of road, I should say, I would say that was neglection too, because for years we've had this barrel there. Understand me? Campaign, people go into campaigns on that very same road, my brother. So understand me, it's not something that is not known, or is something that has been hidden from the public or from the people that is in leadership. It's something that has been known for a long time, and even if even above it is still in a deplorable state, even is in a very dangerous state. And to have it come to how it is now without even trying to at least erect the retaining wall first, you understand me? So we would see things happen in phases, but then it leads me to ask the question: where was the plan to maintain the road? You building a road, obviously you should have a plan to maintain the road.
no
If it's
maintain it.
every
Yeah.
5 years, if it's every 6 years, because I know the road is not a house, you can paint the house every year. So if you understand me, but where is that? Where is that? I don't know. Okay, so then the marking on the road is not there. Where is the plan to? Who's coming and remark it? Yeah, it's a lot of things you have to look at.
Yeah. It's a lot of things you have to put in perspective. Look, somebody leave a comment and say,
No
no
ambulance
yeah, should have to take patients.
patients from the northeast all the way to town, a whole hour drive. By the time you get there, done dead. All right. Yeah, definitely. We understand that as well. Understand that.
Because,
So then,
well,
go
because
ahead.
we have a hospital in Maragot.
Is it open? Is it utilizing?
I was at the opening of the hospital, so I know it's open.
It's open and it's functioning.
It's functioning, but is it properly staffed? Is the staff trained in operation of the equipment that is at the hospital? Those are the
Okay.
questions.
So, but because even if you just say about the equipment, then you have to look at even also if the equipment is even absolute, you have to look at all those things, because we need to be. The world is changing very quickly in all fields, in education, in medical field. We need to also ensure that we are, even if you're not in the best of the best, at least the one before the latest, we should at least make ways to have those equipments on hand, because we're saving lives here.
Well, let me say this. I cannot say this. Based on my observation,
Go ahead.
based on my observation, again, I am not no medical expert or anything, but the equipment that was there was brand new equipment, based on my observation. Because I did a walkthrough at the hospital and I saw some of the equipment, and they were brand new equipment. Be it, I don't know what year brand new, but they were brand new equipment.
That's the next question. That's true. Okay. And yes, and then well, that is good too. That is good too. But then because there's no accountability, I believe we haven't had those information made public to the people. I don't think so. A written report or something like that. We don't know those things. So when those information have been left out for public knowledge and public sensitization, how do we move forward? Tell me, how do we know how can we trust that system? Understand me? Because we had a grand opening, we should be okay. So we have 5 of these machines. What are these machines used for? These machines is used for advanced cardiology or whatever. Understand me? So persons would understand that this is what we have here, but we have to guess most of the time. Somebody says,
look the comments. I heard when they opened, they brought up equipment from Tong just for the opening. Don't say them kind of things.
I don't understand that. No, that
don't say that, because I'm telling you, I was there for the opening. I was there when I was literally there at the opening. I asked questions and everything to the director who was doing the opening. Don't say them things about the people, man. Give them the benefit of the doubt, man. I don't think
at least
because I also was there when they were offloading some of the equipment from the containers. You get what I mean? So I was there for a lot of the initiation stages of the hospital opening. I can't say they brought them there and bring them back, you know.
We don't know, we still don't know. So, but again, we can just talk about those things. Even if let's say it's not the case, let's say it's brand new stuff and dedicated to the hospital itself, but we still do not know what they have there, and then how can the public make informed decisions?
What I saw, they had X-rays machines there. They had an X-ray machine there. They had.
But that is the next thing again. That's the next thing again, Kano. It's not you to inform. Is it on you to inform the people what we have equipping our?
Well,
it may be part of it. Yes and no. I would say. Yes and no. What your job should have been is confirmation.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
And that is where I want to draw point on. We don't have to beg people to do their job.
For transparency, yes.
We don't have to beg people to do those things, and that is where, to me, is not okay. When that is it, and that is where we at. That cannot be okay, and that is where we at. We have to beg to know this and beg to know that. I have to make video. So let's say I have to make another video on the airport to find out some things where the airport is at. That is a little bit pushing it. We should have had already.
It's like we have to basically demand answers when answers should just be coming. Answers should just be coming out to us instead of us having to. First, the other day I saw them. There's a video. Somebody posted the grass and water needs to get cut. 2 days later, they posted another. The next day, I think the grass and water is cut. You get what I'm saying?
That's too reactive.
Like I don't like the idea.
And my issue is now, and thank you for drawing that up. I bet there is somebody in place to represent WANA. So what is that person doing? So the person in charge of the particular constituency should literally accept all responsibilities for doing or not doing, and it cannot be that because you make a video, the higher ups are asking the person to do it. If the person not doing a job, well, we leave them off the position.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you as leader of any organization, you have to do you have to do stuff that leaders do. You own your business, you have to do stuff that owners do. You cannot leave your stuff to do what you as an owner and come and do as a cashier because they can't do the job. It doesn't make sense. And if the team is not coherent, then the team needs to be revamped, the team needs to be revisited, and it needs to be changed. Yes, Mandeli.
It's a form of delegation. Your job is to cut the grass or to who should be held accountable for the smooth functioning of the healthcare system in Dominica? Is it the Prime Minister or the Minister of Health? It's the Minister of Health.
But again, we have another issue here, and as Mr. Thomas raised it up, we have another issue that is just bursting my brains. While the Minister of Health is responsible for those things, the Minister of Health has his doctorate in another field, if he has that. So how is he going to know what to do effectively? How is he going to make proactive decisions?
Well, then, no. Again, it boils back down to delegation because he has people under him who should be able to work and function and give him the answers.
No, but I
They-
want you to. No,
he shouldn't have to come up with answers.
But I want you to
People
understand.
bring the answers to him and he implement them.
But that is bad. But that is not to say on the team there's not somebody that has, notable degrees and qualifications in health. There are persons for health. Why isn't the person for health not in the health ministry? Not the minister of health.
Well, my brother,
We cannot substantiate wrong allocations of
individual
responsibilities.
resources.
We cannot
But
do that.
but then there would be a conflict of interest with the current Minister of Health if he was put in his department, because he also has an engineering company. So then, if he's put in the engineering or public works department, it would be a conflict of interest in the sense that he could bid on all jobs or have
But what
access
you
to
do-
know when the job is coming up.
But what you do, because I understand why that point is raised, I understand why that point is raised, but you simply put people in place to oversee. You simply put a committee in place to oversee, to ensure when a decision is made by him, or a committee in place, or board of directors in place, or all those things. You can put those things in place where they can go oversee and make sure that everything is done properly. Because at the end of the day, like I'm trying to say, is that you're trying to show people that your team is responsible, your team is proactive, your team is working. You understand me? But when we misfit, I call it a misfit. When you misfit people into pieces, they do have passions. How are they going to function
Achieve,
effectively?
yeah.
Understand me? There should be an overarching goal that everybody should be trying to attain in their specific field. Now, if he's not in his place where he's comfortable working and he can move and he'll have advanced ideas and all those things, all those initiatives to implement, how is it going to work out for us? Not to say we're the only place, not to say we're the only island in the Caribbean that has a minister that is in the ministry, that's a minister of health in ministry of the health field. No square pegs in there goes. Yeah, man. Because and that is another issue I have. Everything can be everything is left to the man, and then how does that work out properly?
Because have you ever listened to a I was gonna use a reference real quick. We have press conferences all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who does most of the speaking at the press conference? Or answers most of the questions at the press conference?
Try to okay.
Good. So again, I'm going to say, like the individual said, that square pegs in wrong holes.
Yeah.
Because we have people who are in positions that can't really hey, thanks for your contribution this afternoon.
Yeah. Definitely.
You have us over here thinking real good, boy. You're pointing some of the things, man.
Because it's another thing to me. And there's another light again to me because we have no. Okay, look at it. As we talk about the press conferences, so I just flash back to the part where the time where the journalist asked the Prime Minister a question about the building that has been erected in Roseau. And I mean, like as if you want to tell the press. So, like, I just speculating, You want to send a script for the press, tell them I can hold a press conference tomorrow. This is a script, you can ask these questions, all the questions you cannot answer it, or else I won't answer it.
Yeah.
Even if they ask, I won't answer it.
Well,
So you're just having, why you having an announcement? You're not having a press conference, you're having an announcement.
not necessarily.
Because-
not necessarily because I listen to press conferences here in the States and the press secretary doesn't answer all the questions.
I understand that.
She might skip over a question or two.
That lovely, definitely. Skip over a question or two. But if somebody asks a pertinent question, the public needs to hear. You understand me? The public needs to hear. So the public have no say now in terms of what you have to answer, what you can don't answer. That is where it's leading to.
True.
So when that is the action, or that is the games we're seeing, or that is the habits we're seeing, then what does that say about the leadership itself? He wasn't prepared to answer questions about that a particular thing.
But then now he's not the minister for housing, so he wouldn't know whose house that is.
Listen, me, you're talking because you don't know, you know.
The man can answer question he don't know about. He don't know.
The man know. The man know. The man
Hey, you're trying to bash my PM.
know. It's my PM too, but the
Don't
truth
do
is
that.
the truth. Anyways,
Yes.
anyways, when this is the kind of leadership that is being displayed and representation of a cohesive group, then we have to ask ourselves what is going on. So
You have to give him
I have
an-
information. No, I have information, and from very, very strong sources. I can give you some. I can educate you if you really don't. If you really don't know, I can educate you on offline.
Educate me, I want to know. Educate my dons.
Okay, so I'll be able to educate you
That's
offline exactly to tell you exactly what's going on. But then, for safety's sake, yeah, and then basically, so we thinking the country moving forward, thinking the country developing, the country is moving to the next level, as we would all say. But then we have to ask, what are the plans are in place to ensure that we move properly, that we actually moving to a developed state, that we actually moving to a better state, because we have to look at the judiciary system. How is that goes? How is that gonna be revolutionarized? How is that gonna be improved? How is that gonna work out? Understand me? But look at our agriculture sector. How is that gonna be improved? Look at our tourism sector. How is our tourism going to accommodate for our main resource, which is agriculture? We cannot stop tourism and don't talk agriculture. We must talk agriculture. How are we going to revamp our export rates? How are we going to increase our export rates?
And agriculture is not just fig and planting, people.
Exactly.
And yam and dashing. Agriculture is a cohesive of other crops as well.
No, look at that. Look at that. Now, while agriculture is a broad aspect of it, where does medicine come from? Where does medicine come from?
Agricultural produce.
Where does food come from?
Agricultural produce.
Where does shelter come from? So Dominic agriculture. So food, clothing, shelter, medicine all come from agriculture. Why are we ignoring this thing?
If not something, then what?
Then what? Everything we need for we learn that in primary school. Food, clothing, and shelter. Everything that we just listed is embedded in agriculture. When you go into agriculture deeper, you get into something we call agrotourism, which is something that Martinique utilizes. Martinique utilizes agrotourism, and it's profitable for them. They're making chocolate, they put it up there, so already in the barcode letter as well.
Making chocolate in Dominica?
Definitely. But is it on the scale for agrotourism? Is it you putting it there, showing the entire process of it?
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress, but we have to have that plan in place. We cannot just say it's a work in progress without mentioning it, without knowing there's plans being prepared for it. That's where the point. That's why I'm trying to reach, because if we just say everything will come, man. That's what it will come, man. But we don't know if we pass tests. We don't know if we pass bowl. I don't even know if we pass bowl test, but it will come, man.
It will come.
I don't know if we pass structure. I don't know if we pass I don't know what test we pass. I don't know what test we don't pass, because this information not being made to us. All we given information, and we're supposed to swallow it down. He killed agriculture to bring the farmers to their knees, to keep them poor. They will come and beg.
Oh, wow. And I have a statement to make on that.
Go ahead.
Thank you for bringing up the point. My statement is that the people of Wesley, because I'm from Wesley, I can talk about Wesley right now. Mm-hmm. The people of Wesley were independent when they had their agricultural economy driving them. Mm-hmm. Right now, They don't have said economy. So they are now more dependent. They could have voted and did everything on their own without asking a government to help them. They had I used to see man come from Rosa with brand new vehicle, one Sergeant
Yes.
on
Yes.
Mitsubishi place and bring up transport all the time. One crash today, we go around and get it tomorrow morning.
Because the next one, pocket money.
Pocket money, under pillow money, under bed money. Now, in order for a man to buy a vehicle, you have to go and ask government for duty free. You have to go and ask this for that. Not only tourism aspect, agro-tourism, also agro-processing. That is very true.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Exactly.
Because we selling our planting to Antigua now agro-processing our planting and making a bigger dollar than what we would make to sell them the raw material.
Definitely.
That is craziness. We should be selling our own planting as well. I don't say don't sell to Antigua, you know. But we should also be selling our own agro-processed plantain chips.
Of course. And other things, not only just plantain chips, but other stuff. Of course.
Antigua selling us water.
And we importing water.
We importing water from Antigua, from Jamaica. We importing water in a land of 365 river.
I have a question. Is our greatest downfall our ability to adapt quickly?
I lost on greatest downfall.
Because I will tell you why. Nice. I'll tell you why. Because I say our greatest downfall, and I call it a downfall because if we adapt to things negatively, and we get comfortable with things negatively, it can be very difficult to get us to feel uncomfortable again. So is our greatest downfall is that we adapt to things too quickly?
Yes. Because if we were not adapting so easily, things wouldn't be able to be shoved down our throat.
Thank you.
And we accept it without asking a question and saying, what are really taking place and what are going on.
Exactly.
You know?
And it is really within our democratic rights to ask pertinent questions. Understand me? So then again, I'm even asking myself, do we know what a democratic right is? Do we understand the democracy we in? Do we I don't know.
People who are watching, I would want you guys to share the live so that other people can get the information that we pushing out. We're not even pushing information. We're just asking questions here this afternoon.
Basically.
And having an open discussion. We ask if you have a question you want to ask, go ahead and ask. Big up to our sponsors, T2O. T2O is the hydrating the culture water here in Atlanta, spring water. We have our rapid recovery response out in Roseau. If you get into an accident, look up rapid response. We also have the Northeastern Funeral Association. If you have a relative that passed away, contact NIFA. We have also what's our next sponsor then? Fido. If you want to get your websites done up, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So check us out, man.
So then I see, Faith was just saying, they don't understand their rights, which is a very good conclusion to come to. But if we're gonna use that as our basis, our problem statement, or what is our issue? Remember with SBA is the problem statement. When our problem statement is that they don't understand their rights. So how do we get them to understand their rights?
True. Well, you see, we have to do more open talks, open discussions like these, to where we educate the masses. Because apparently, I listened to the other day. I was listening to the Prime Minister speak, and he was saying that we as Dominicans only go on with a mouth. We don't go and read for ourselves. So, seeing that is word of mouth we like to listen to, some of us will read and come and give you the word of mouth. So it would take people like
Yeah.
Fido and myself who would possibly read something and come and tell you what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we need to educate the masses. And I believe in a society that we're in today, education is key. You have to go?
No. I'll look in to see if I can put on my lights in there in a while. I'll put them on in a while.
Oh. When the opposition goes to talk to them, they need to break it down in simple terms and forget the big words. That is true. That is true. But I thank you for bringing up opposition. Thank you for bringing up opposition. I have a problem with the opposition. I believe the opposition needs to get a different strategy in order to effectively create change. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the opposition needs to come up with a different strategy to effectively create change. Do you think so? Yes or no? You two are in opposition, Richie. I know that. So I need to come up with a different strategy then. Oh Lord, I need to come up with a different strategy. Hey, but yeah, I believe a different strategy is needed. What's your strategy? You see, my strategy is try to keep on educating, keeping my name in people's mouths. The more, be it negative, be it positive, whatever you hear, you keep your name in the people's and their mouth. You keep their mind have to say, boy, Richie. When they wake up in the morning, it's Richie. When they go and sleep in the night, it's Richie. All they hearing is Cardo's media, Fido. That's all they hearing. And at the end of the day, even when they go in the polling box, all they're gonna hear is Cardo's media. All they're gonna hear is Fido. Because why? That is what is in their brain all the time. Why do you think the strategy that is being utilized by the current sitting government is always keeping their name in your mouth? Be it negative press, be it positive press, keeping their name in your mouth.
Wow.
So all you hear is prime minister. It's a psychology that almost come together with their strategies and ideas and then implement them as one team. And I believe you. Collaboration of ideas. Very good. Very good. But then no, when you have people, everybody fighting for leadership, everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants. You don't gonna have followers because everybody is big man. If you notice the strategy again is a strategy. If you look at the other people, them anybody fighting for leadership, you might have one or two that might have leadership aspiration, but do they voice their leadership aspiration in public? If you don't, I mean, we have to look at reality. We have to put things in perspective. Take the people and them showing you the way to beat them. Utilize the way they're showing you to beat them.
To beat them, yeah.
Utilize,
the position is having right
capitalize
now.
on it.
Power struggle. Definitely. That is where they should try to sort out as quickly as possible because they'll be caught off guard there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They'll be caught off guard. You don't want to be caught off guard, not at all.
If everybody wants to lead, everybody wants to be in charge, you can't do that way because it shows chaos. And I'm sure I can bet $100 that maybe $1,000 right now, right here, right now. If an election was called today, no matter what problem the people of Dominica are facing under this current administration, they will still vote them back.
I believe so.
No matter what problem they're facing under this current administration here, no, they will still put the X to put them back in. So it's something that is wrong. It's something that is, you know, that what I think will work, grassroots movements.
Maybe, just maybe,
And maybe
just maybe,
ignite grassroots movements and work with the movements around the island.
just maybe, just
It
maybe.
it it has a strong possibility of working. But you see our people are bad-minded and wicked. And when they see, you see again, is position everybody fighting for. When they see, let's say they see Fido making a movement, the same people and them he calling his friend is the same people that are gonna want to fight him down. The same people and them he consider to be his friend is the same people that are gonna come and fight him down. When he not doing it for himself, he doing it for them. He doing it for us to benefit in the long run. But do we see it in that way? No. We see it in the way that, oh, Mr. gonna be on top of me.
Yeah,
Mr. gonna tell me what to do.
yeah.
Who is Mr.?
It's a person.
I know where Mr. come out with. You get what I'm saying? And that is our mentality. We fight each other instead of trying to embrace and say, but Mr. Smart,
Yeah,
Mr. can take me to the next level that I need
Yeah.
to be at. We doesn't see that. We only see what that person past was, not their future or not what their present is. The demonic spell of division is real, trust me. If we start seeing what our position is in life and we start making moves and positive moves to a positive direction, a positive end,
yeah.
I think we can take it places. But when we keep on bashing each other and fighting with one another, we can't go nowhere. Can't go nowhere. Fido step out for a second. Going for his lights. So, what else do you think we can do to create positive change in our island? What other avenues can we create positive and impactful change that will benefit everybody in Dominica? I think we have to reevaluate, self-evaluate. Scratch that one, so I think we need to self-evaluate. And once we evaluate self, we can then say, well, all right, we need to make this move and that move in order for us to grow. You ever plant garden?
Never get a chance to fully plant garden, but you know, yeah.
When farmers want a new crop, what they do, they kill all the other crops and they revamp.
They revamp
the garden.
the startup.
They revamp everything. So what I believe is we need to self-evaluate and then know when we come up with a conclusion, analyze everything, and then we come up with a conclusion and say, okay, well, this got to go, that got to go. And we reinvent ourselves. Right now, we need to be in a self-evaluating phase for us to come back with a conclusion, for us to reevaluate where we need to go.
Yeah.
And what will take us to the higher level that we need to be. I might be wrong.
I believe that. I believe that. Making sense. Making sense.
But self-evaluation is a need, and not just a want. It's a need for right now. Self-evaluation.
Imagine that, boy. And then, but that is what I would believe that would bring progress. You know, with self-evaluation. If you cannot accept you need help, you would never try to get that particular help you need. If you exactly, so you're right on the point there, boy.
Once Skerritt is out, Dominica will definitely rise again. But with him there is all the way down from here. let me I gonna oppose your statement. Let's say we remove Prime Minister Scary from office. He's removed from office.
Mm-hmm.
Can How long do you think it's gonna take the country to reinvent itself?
All I know is it will take less long if it's that now.
No, we have to think of this logically, because we then not gonna have to go to a how you call that, self evaluation.
Yeah, it is.
We have to
It
go and
is.
self evaluate.
We have to make up our minds to allow the first term to be literally the self-evaluation term, the term to identify issues caused
Issue.
over the years of leadership, identify debts owed, to try to see if they can alleviate at least as much as possible, and then to reverse the damages that have been made, and then to fix up the systems that have been corrupt. 5 years can't do it.
No. Give 5 years, they can make strides with the right resources, but the treasury probably empty.
But you have to look at all of that, all of those things. I think one of those election times, I remember soon after elections, government payers wasn't getting paid on time because of that
There
same
was no
depletion of the exactly. So
money.
then there is a strategic plan behind all of this, I believe. So if there is observation that this next election is out of there may be a strategic movement to make sure that the next person will have to grunt, as they will say it. You understand me? You have to look at it all directions, because this man is not a dunce man. He's a very
And
intelligent person.
he's been in there long enough to know the tactics and the tricks of the trade in order to do things, in a certain way for people not to, you know. I see we need a lot of strategic thinking and not just
Yeah,
going into this thing blindsided.
yeah, definitely.
Yes, there might be need for change from top to bottom, from nook to cranny, from sweep out all the old us and bringing new, vibrant people who have first Dominica at heart
Of course.
and not pocket or not
And then
fighting
the,
for leadership.
and then the only way that particular party, whoever it is, to take over can make sure and ensure that they get another term to try to reverse the damages is if at every point of progress they make or even regress, they make it known to the public. And why? There have to be total transparency. I'll tell you that.
To
Whether
regain
it's
public
yeah,
trust.
yeah,
To regain
yeah.
public trust. Because I have a little problem.
Go ahead.
I believe the people of Wesley would be more receptive to the airport scenario if there was a little more communication with them.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I
There is
believe
no, I, I don't know how else again to say it, but it's like you're begging for information and you still not get information.
getting
The,
information.
the press conferences to disseminate information is practically, I should say, empty. Is not. It's found wanting. We need to know we need to know the serious things of the seriousness of the project, and if it is projected to complete by whatever time, we need to know the stage it is at every single time. I don't know how people will accept that kind of a violation of human rights. I can't be living in fear like that.
DLP controls everything in Dominica. Every sector, it's impossible for another party to win. Simone,
Okay.
how you doing? Push past 10. Thank you for tuning in for 2 seconds. How you doing today? It's we're having an open discussion talking about what can we do to make improvements in our country, uh, where we are today, how we can. Well, where we're gonna how we can take Dominica to higher heights again. And we were saying that we need to first start off with self-evaluation and then implementing what we come up with at the end of our self-evaluation. And if you have anything you want to say on that, I usually catch you. I usually
Replay.
catch your
The replay,
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
The power is in the people, but they don't understand that. And I can say yes. I can see
Yes.
that comments there. Yes. If people understand, I that is why I'm cooking up something for you guys here. The democratic rights. I'm cooking it up. I just realize persons don't understand what democratic rights is. Persons don't understand what asking question is. All persons know is just take it and wash your mouth.
Yep.
Understand me? That wasn't slavery days. My forefathers or whoever that faced slavery faced it for me. I don't have to go back and face it again.
And
That
this
they
is
faced it
actually,
in vain then. No,
but
no, no, they don't face it in vain.
we are no longer under the physical whip. We are under a mental
Mental whip, yeah. Mental.
whip.
And you can't
And
tell me because you cannot tell me because I asked a pertinent question regarding something that directly affects me that the government is going to blacklist me, whatever. The government not supposed to do that. And a matter of fact, if I have something to go where I have to get permission from the government, it's them self I go in because at the end of the day, you have to do things properly. You understand me? As the government represented me, so how can something that represents me still abuse me?
all right.
No,
But
man.
doesn't the government work for the people?
That should be, but the people working for the government instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. You can't tell me that because of a political election time, you're not talking to your uncle, you're not talking to your brother, you're not talking to your sister, you're not talking to your child for a political party. You divided the family for a political party. And at the end of the day, if you have a sickness, the political party could well tell you, well, ma'am, I can't take it right now, I have other things to do. Or
Yeah.
so I can't take it right now. You cannot make a caller divide you so much.
Can make politics divide us so much.
But it come back down to a caller. Because even if whoever changed to a worst representative, the caller will be the part that sticks with them the most. Because I keep hearing, oh, well, Pierre Charles or Rizzy Douglas or whoever, you understand me, wasn't like that. People will look at the past representatives and associate it with callers, but that is a person. It's a person that is a bad thing. The policies are the bad thing. The person carries bad policies. Which matters the most, a caller or policies?
Policies. Policies.
That is the
But,
thing. That is
but
the
then the people don't look at the policies. The people only look at a color or a person.
for a person.
They don't.
Can't do that.
You think people in Dominica are voting on political issues or they're voting for a person?
Say it again.
Do you think people in Dominica look at issues or they vote for a color or a person?
I don't think they don't look at no issues.
They don't. Because if they want to look at
No
the
issue.
issues, they will probably vote different.
I'm telling you.
You have to look at the
Can
issue.
you imagine? Can you imagine in college? I remember I was in college and I was in the college bus and I started talking out loud for everybody to hear me. And I was telling them it is not ethical for a man, a single man, to hold power for more than 2-3 terms. Because after that, it becomes a personal thing where corruption can happen. We don't even know how much corruption is there. And they did not respond to that. And it was a wrong election time, and I told them so, and they didn't respond to that.
But they can't respond to that.
And I know why. Because back then the government was heavy on helping students with their college tuitions.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean for you to hush when they're doing wrong, and they're doing wrong that can affect you in a worse way, that can affect you and your generations to come. It doesn't make sense to me. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Let's say it's wrong. If it's good, let's say it's good.
That says good.
Not because and look at it how I find it doesn't make sense. Okay, let's say both men you're working. I'm in Dominica. I'm in Dominica. We're working in Dominica. We're getting paid Dominica. I run short of $200. I say, okay, bro, I need $200 up here at the end of the month. That don't believe because I pursued you, I asked you for help. I in dire need of a $20. Don't believe because I get that $20 from you, I owe you my life, my brother. But that is the mindset of the people.
Because you give me, I owe you big time.
I owe you big time. And you're taking abuse. The person can call in front of the friends and slap you in the head because at $200? What are you crazy? But people need to understand that's signs of a broken people. If you understand the greater picture behind it, that is sign of a manipulated generation. They basically, I cannot say it now, they can't really think for themselves because they're always about the repercussion.
I can ask you a personal question.
Go ahead.
You about 35?
No, just 30. Just make 30.
Okay, good. 30. When you were born, you were 5 years, and then the
Party
current
changed, yeah.
government came in. Do you know anything about the previous government besides what people tell you?
I can tell you. If I tell you, maybe not gonna believe me, but I could remember how things was. I can very I can remember very clearly. Yes, I can. I can tell you that. I can tell you instances of when I was even 3, but that is for another story. So I can remember how it was because I remember how it was. I want something, I get that. I remember when my father used to tell me, whatever you want, take it. I remember my father used to come and say, and they had me count. And I was from a very early age, I could count very well. So I could count up 2,000 now. You say, you count 1,000 already? I say, of course I count 1,000 already. And it's thousands. I could see a contrast difference from when my father used to bring thousands home for us to count as a fisherman to when it's just like, boy, barely making that. Sometimes I had to save up my allowance and give my father back to me to buy fuel for his, and nobody would know that if I would tell him that.
Okay.
I could have seen the difference in terms of the economy. You understand me? So persons may not be able to remember. I remember every night my father come home, I getting chicken and chips and a chocolate. It was affordable at that time. He could have done that.
Yeah.
I wanted a bike, I get in a bike. I wanted a computer, I get a computer. That was it. I could tell you those things. I had a computer very young, Very young. So I can tell you the contrast difference between the economy and how it was booming. Because it affected my dad to that degree where I knew that and that. I knew what was happening. And he always made me know what was going on. That's another thing. They always let me know what was going on. So I could contrast after that happened there was a great difference. I could see where the economy became more difficult. Didn't mean that we struggled, Doesn't mean that we struggled.
Yeah, I get you.
But I could tell you where the economy was different. And I could know that, and the cry was, boy, we need to get back in the party in port because that is nonsense or whatever happening. And I could hear other farmers crying and thing, and the value. My grandfather is a dedicated farmer. Was a dedicated farmer. I heard his cry as well. I wasn't only around my father alone, My grandfather bought a van off his pocket. I remember the day I come by the man and say, "You get a new van?" Yes, in my pocket I buy that. You understand me? That was wrong. I know those things. And my grandfather used to go garden and thing with everybody else. And I know those things. He had a green van, he'd buy a blue van again off his pocket. That was time when the economy was booming, but then as I was selling, persons was able to do things. But then and then just sad to say, some persons my age may not have the same testimony.
Experience.
Yeah, because they may not have that.
The reason I stated that was because I believe that once you're about 30, 35 ish, you have not experienced
the full
any other thing but what we have here now. So you have nothing to compare and contrast to. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's like I only experienced this, and that is all I know.
Yeah.
So so I'm hearing people talk about when Eugenia was this or when Edison was that. You know, you're hearing these things, but you didn't see it with your own two eyes to say, well, okay, well, this is
Exactly
my
what the
tangible
experience.
belief.
Yeah.
I saw this or I know this. All I know, if it's all I know is poverty and hardship, that is all I know. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Do I want to experience money and other things? Yes. But sometimes your personal experience weigh deeply on your choices.
Yeah, that is true, man. That is true.
Some of us are still in the choice where, boy, that is all I know. I don't want to try nothing different. You get what I'm saying? And we stick and we stay because we have become so complacent and so, you said what you say, adaptive to what? Adaptive to our current condition.
We adapt
We
too
just
quickly,
adapt.
man.
Yeah, adapt quickly to
Adapt too
our
quickly.
condition.
Now, I mind you, I believe that Dominicans are very strong and very talented. And because Dominicans in very instinct is to survive, they will survive no matter what it takes. But that is how we can negatively impact us is when we accept anything
Anything.
to survive. Definitely. I believe so. You can't tell me the amount of things Dominicans gone through already and still able to live
To
a normal
res-
life. That's but I tell you that resilience Dominica that wasn't my chance now. That was actually describing the people.
Take Dominica itself as an island is a resilient island. Take for instance Erica.
Yes.
Erica destroyed Dominica. The country was
Maria.
flat.
Yeah, man.
You could stay from one side of the island and see the next side. The
I
country
see the
was
next
naked. No trees, no nothing. Everywhere was just devastation. And in less than 5 months,
Up
we
and
was
up
back.
again. Up again. And that's a sign I believe that's a sign because we have other nations that's still struggling to catch themselves after disasters, after this, after that. I believe God a plan for Dominica. I can tell you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Basically, God a plan for Dominica. God have plans for Dominica, but we have to put ourselves in a position where we can make wise decisions because as even if God can have what kind of plans you have for you, if you don't make that conscious decision for that liberty, you can never get it.
Samora, what you saying, my brother? What going on? Shamora. You know who that is?
No, who's that? Who's that?
Boy, one of the most influential gentlemen in Dominica, right now.
Oh wow,
He just don't know he just don't know how influential he is.
he is right now. Wow.
That's the power for Maragot.
Okay. I don't know him by that name. I know him as
That's the one.
Rebel. No Rebel.
The rebel. Okay, then you see the rebel. All right then. So you know him as the rebel.
Yeah, man, and I can tell you I was very impressed. I was very impressed and pleased with his decision to step up in that leadership position. So if he's blessing us with his presence there, and yeah, man, we appreciate
Man,
that.
the rebel always tuning
appreciate
in,
that.
man. The rebel always on there, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
And then we're talking about issue of people. So then do we do a reverse psychology to get the people back where they should be, or do we plead for them to come back in right alignment?
What do you mean?
All right. Now, taking for instance, and to give some scenarios. Somebody always thieving your thing. Just say that they always stealing your thing. So you say, I get him to see his own thing, so he go feel how I feel. So you take his thing and put by you, thinking is your own by his own. He still-
Hey, so you
he
thief
feels
his thing and you bring it by you.
yeah, because because he's thief, he does thief. So then he thief your thing, he eat it, and he go up to eat his own. He's not there.
Yeah.
Somebody thief my thing. The reverse psychology is to basically to get people to really and truly see what's happening because you can't tell me because you're in a squeeze and you need a little bit of help, financial help. We call it cool out, you know that. Then that is the deciding factor of your vote You don't care about any other factors that should govern your vote. You don't ask a lot of questions about policies. Now listen to me. That $5,000 may be spending in 2 days.
What, some of them doesn't even get $5,000. You're talking plenty money there.
I talking plenty. So let us. I talking scale. So those that are getting it would think, okay, Mr. getting 5,000, man. It doesn't last 2 days, most likely. It doesn't last 3 days. It doesn't even last a month. I think about another 5 years under struggle. 5 years under hard economy. Okay, let's say you're not struggling, but under hard economy. Maybe you can understand hard economy, where you're just making just to pass.
Just to pass, just to get by. Just enough just to get by.
Just enough just to get by, and that is it. And you tell me you're comfortable with just enough just to get by when you should have family to think about, your children to think about. What is your inheritance?
What is your legacy?
What is your legacy? What are you passing down? Now, when you pass down, let's say a living quarters, I should say, is a living quarter given to you by a particular party. When you're given, that is given to you with no title of ownership, with no legal binding, this is your own for you to sell or pass on. When you pass on, who's getting that one? Another allocation to a good stewardship of the party, not you, not your children, them.
No.
But then, forget about that. Let's say you're very good, you've worked with the government and you've been a very loyal worker within the government. So your children get to inherit the living quarters, and then their children gets to inherit living quarters. But guess what? We've gone to 2 generations of no ownership
of nothing. Mm-hmm. You can't
go
to the bank with that land paper. You can't go nowhere with that because it's not yours.
It's not yours.
You don't even have one to go anywhere with it.
So imagine that. And then we have to really and truly sit down and think of those things. And what is the value of this thing now? Yes, it was to help you temporarily, but it became permanent.
Yeah. But again, some of us are so conditioned to accept mediocre and not want to fight for ourselves.
For ours, yeah.
That we just take mediocre and what it comes with.
Whatever may come and done with that. I can tell you is that discourage people. You can see that. You can see that.
People them shoulder break, man, and they
shoulder break.
They shoulder break, but they need to go to the doctor
and readjust it, and put on the cast, put on the cast and readjust it and put up your head. So it people may be checking. You break my right shoulder go from the break the left one.
Hey.
Oh bye. But then again, we have to be positive. We have to be positive.
But it's a mindset, though. It's a mindset, and
man.
And I believe if we have transparency, it would take us further than where we come.
Yeah, definitely.
It would take us further. So for the guys saying transparency would take us further.
Transparency would take us further. Definitely. I believe that. I believe so.
So I don't care whatever government that go in power or whoever is in power. Transparency
would be key, yeah.
From the top to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Because tomorrow morning, let's say another party go into power, but there's still no transparency. We're still in the same goddamn boat.
But you know what? The people should reach a point where they understand the democratic rights.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't look in like what it's supposed to be, you put a stop to it. The people can put a stop to those things. The people can put a stop to those things. The people can demand that a general election happens now.
You think
forces so? And they can force. But the people is a collaborative effort. If the election don't call, we don't going to work. If the election, it doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be violent, but it has to be. You have to have a strong statement. Now, if the people call for elections or they call for change in government, and it doesn't happen, what should they do next? Tell me.
Oh. Well,
no, you don't know.
You raised it up. I had to think right
because if we call for a change in a particular section in government or whatever it is, or even if it's the entire government or whatever it is, People come together. The people for first of all, they must form a group that represents the people.
The people. True.
Okay, not of fighting a group that represents the people. So yes, this group was created to voice the to give the voice of the people and the voice of people alone. So the voice of people say now we have decided that we want a change in this particular sector, and this person is a valid candidate. This is what we need. This is what we want. Okay, the response come in, and we're looking into this thing, and is a drag situation, a drag foot situation. The people can now see, seeing that our request for change in that particular government was not seen important enough to effect change, then we will not work. Like I tell you, it has to be a collaborative effort. So Monday, everybody's at their home.
Yeah.
Tuesday, everybody's at their home. Wednesday, boss man go down to work. Everybody go for boss until the boss and go home. Collaborative effort. If it is fragmented, then we would never be able to see our democratic rights come to pass. Understand me? That is where the people need to understand that. But then the people again is so afraid that they would blacklist me, or I wouldn't get help, or I'm doing this, whatever that. That's not supposed to be a problem. Because whether you need help or not, and you go to them for whatever thing, they need to listen to you. They need to give you a good assessment. I don't say they wouldn't. I don't say they wouldn't probably try something, But knowing your rights, that's not what you're supposed to get. There'll be a violation of their obligation to you.
Okay.
But we don't want to press.
We need to demand that our power rep become the Minister of Finance.
We can demand it, but it has to be a collaborative effort.
We need to demand that
we can demand that
Minister of Finance.
And that is why I believe that he would make serious strides in that position. But again, me, Kado Media, Focus with Fido, we have faith right there. That is just 3 persons out of how many thousands of persons that should have stand up, Now, if we have a movement where 50,000 people, Dominicans, is in agreement, then the eyes already have it.
Yes.
You understand me? So that is where the people should really and truly understand that the government is there to serve the people. The government is not there to serve the particular the parties. It's not to serve the parties.
I gotta put this demand out there. To the people who listen or who watch, we need to demand that the parliament representative for Wesley become the Minister of Finance. He's a financier. I think he should be in that field as a minister, even if not the lead minister, but at least a junior minister, if that so fits the ballot. But I think he would better serve us as a Minister of Finance.
Definitely. And we can put a petition out there, but we have to literally make that the movement. There has to be the movement.
Yeah.
It can't be just, I make a demand and I don't see it happen, so it doesn't not true. It's not the reason for the movement is basically to let the administration understand this is a serious
serious effort.
Understand me? So if that can happen else other way, non-violence, because anything in violence will have repercussions, and then we're on the road. But we have a right to peaceful protests, and we have a right to voice our concerns.
And we also need the parliamentary representative from Maragot to be the opposition leader. Those are my 2 demands. I don't have no more. Those are my 2 demands. We need a change in the finance ministership, and we need our opposition leader from the parliamentary Maragot.
And then so then we can do those things, but then and the thing is, I believe this is not only just a hair problem. This is a worldwide problem where democratic countries do not want the people to fully understand the democratic rights, so that they won't utilize it adequately. You understand?
So then we need to have a discussion on democratic rights. But you say you're gonna put out a video on it. So whenever you put
definitely. I might script already. I just hold up on the recording because of the family, but
Democratic rights, so people can
Democratic
understand what their rights are, how they go about exercising their rights in a democratic
Healthy
way.
way, yeah, proper way,
Yes.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not going and blocking road all the time. That has its time, but
Blocking road,
that doesn't
block
necessarily work all the time.
blocking road is for a short-term fix. You know, I sure that I'm definitely sure of
Yes,
that. Blocking road is
exactly.
for a short-term fix. But
It
if
will
we really
appease
want,
you right now.
yes, yes, yes. So if we have a situation that demands attention now, and that is what that needs to be done, then the people will have to do it. But if we really want a long-term change and we want the people to be where they should be, you know, with the government serving them fully, then we have to make that movement properly. Yeah. And then that's it. That is it. Once we can formulate that kind of a unity between red, blue, green, yellow, purple, orange, and then you seen as the chief in command, everybody on red with that people with blue and all, everybody together. You know what can you then do? You can do nothing more again than just say,
Because
okay,
it's a
well, we've
collective
listened.
and it's not just
Thank you.
one set of people talking.
That
It's
is
the
it.
entire populace talking.
Talking. That is it.
You know?
That is it.
And that is what can effectively create change. When
Change.
the
Yeah.
when the populace decides enough is enough and we all band together. We
Yeah.
set aside color, we set aside friendship, we set aside party, and we put country first.
Together. Yeah.
But I keep saying that same thing there all the time. And I keep saying I'm making that same sentiment there all the time. We need to put country first.
Yeah.
It's Dominica over everything, you know.
Yes, definitely.
It's Dominica over everything. Everything else has to fall second. We have to put Dominica on our back and make sure that it is making strides. It is making strides in and not strides to go backwards, but strides to
Strides
go
moving forward. Mm-hmm.
And we need to stop pulling each other down and want to fight for everybody fighting for this, fighting for that. Stop fighting. Let us collectively, if we're gonna fight, let us collectively fight to build our nation.
Like I have a question, you know. I have a question, you know, because I don't know if you have anybody there from Wesley, you can just push up in the comment, put a comment there, miss you there. Because I have a question to ask you. Is you that nobody other than a Wesley person that can answer that question for me?
Go ahead. Whoever they go answer it later if they don't hear.
Okay, well, yes, that is true. So then the question I have to ask, because it's been burning for a good while now. What is the plan, or is there an active plan to relocate the Wesley Primary School? And if there's a plan to relocate the Wesley Primary School, then where is it going to be? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not just it's not just saying, it's not just saying things gonna change without showing us how things is gonna be
How it's gonna
changed, you know. Understand me? Now with the new changing of the Paul Pass being relocated, and then where would be the suitable place in Wesley now that the land is gone? Where would be the most suitable place now to relocate the Wesley Primary School?
Up in Joe up there, okay. You know that intersection when you can go Mango Gutter, Joe.
Yeah.
I think Ronnie has his house there in that
Yeah,
section.
definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On that little flat on top, they could take this.
Okay.
But again, that's just my opinion.
That's your opinion, eh?
I'm not a designer or engineer or anything like that.
When you're making a school, now if I were some stakeholder where that school is concerned, or some member of the village council where that school is concerned, I don't want a building alone, you know. I want a concrete court. I want 2 rims. I want a nice. Thank you. It has to make sense. It has to, whatever you're taking here, it has to be either adequate or more.
No more.
It can't be less.
True. Because we have a playground, we have a basketball court. Although the playground was not properly maintained, but it's there.
Exactly, but we had it. We had a section for gardening in the school. I know that when I left the primary school, when I graduated, we had a little slot for gardening. We want back those things. We want because we want to our students to be well developed. Now again, now the school court served as a socializing area for fellows who want to play basketball and stuff like that. We want to know how feasible would that be now with the relocation. If we have to relocate the primary school and the facilities, then how is that going to, or feasible is that going to happen? Maybe easy because more persons are living closer to that area,
Area now, yeah.
but then we have to look at all those things. What about the person staying in? But Batis have to move to.
Some more parties have.
Listen to me. You're asking me asking the same question.
No.
What about the Catholic Church? Is it okay? Is that not in line? Not in anything?
I don't. You see, the line has changed so fast.
I never see. Boy, I tell you. That line is the fastest changing line you ever
The
see.
line has changed so fast. I can't answer, but as of now, I don't think the Catholic Church is in any danger of moving. Because if the Catholic Church has to move, then basically priests got to have to move.
But you have to understand what is going on. You have to understand what is going on. We having and the airport is they say we having an airport. You have to look at noise pollution. Is the Catholic Church structure enough to take that noise pollution? And international airports, so them big plane coming down and shaking up the place. Can it take those kind of stress?
But man, again, I'm not an engineer, so I can't answer them kind of questions. Yeah.
We have to look at all those things. So then, if the church has to relocate, then where are the graves going to go? All those things you have to ask. This is a difficult question to ask, but you have to ask them because we need to know what is really going on, where the projected lines are, where the boundaries are, and then where the space for noise pollution is, and then where is the safe ground from the danger zone, because there is a safe zone and a danger zone. How are we going to do all those things? Then, wow, God. Yes. So then, when all that happened, then no.
No power God. No power at all.
This is just the train of thought I have in terms of development and moving forward and actively thinking, because these things are serious things. I don't want to say is international airport is a very good initiative, very, very, very positive. There are many positive for it, but then for that to happen, there must be proactive measures we're taking to make it a success. It's not just saying you're gonna come and then believing you're gonna come. Like this person raised a good question about human resources improving themselves, expanding themselves, developing themselves for the airport. But I think he was asking that a bit too early for that, because if the airport will start yet and we have qualified persons for the airport, then when they're gonna work in an international airport, but they're not gonna work in Dominica.
No, okay.
You understand me? So we have to think of those things. You have to ask those questions which are so important. Understand me?
It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Yeah. And then we have a chance of the project midway failing, or no, I don't know, no way failing, but it has a chance of failing. And then if it fails, what is the plan B? Boy.
Let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
If another government goes in power, let's say elections is called tomorrow and another government goes in power, do you think it would be logical for them to abandon the project or continue the project?
Okay. I'm gonna put you up. It's all based on perspective and scenarios. I have to give you two scenarios, basically a good and a bad one. If they come into power and there's a complete roadmap to from start to finish of that international airport, there has to be continuity, or else that government will fail. Now, keep in mind, there is a roadmap to there, but there should also be a financial map too as well. If those things are good, then it has to be continued, it has to be completed, the necessary agreements with surrounding it, whether it's Dominica Airport or Dominica Friendship Airport, I don't know. But whatever the stuff, it has to be fulfilled to the maximum. Okay? Take it for instance, is an impromptu project now. How does that party address the public on that?
Exactly. Exactly. You see where the question coming from?
Well, yeah, man, definitely. So then,
Because it's like, what do we do or where do we go from here?
exactly. And then they have to make a projection based on what is on hand. Because if it's an impromptu, that means the fund is actually not there or not present. Okay. And I would like to believe that there was funds given for the full start and completion of the project. Not true? We don't know. Well, we don't know. We would just like to think so.
So, please and thank you.
You
Please
understand
and
me?
thank you.
So we'd like to think positively like that, but then we still have to ask the serious questions. And what is the plan for Wesley and Wesley people? Well, I understand the Margaret Fisheries is very incomplete in its state. Even when they do the repainting, it's very still incomplete in its state. It should have been a port for trade. Is there gonna be a revisit to that project anytime soon? Are we gonna add another port to Dominica ports, increase trades, all them stuff there? So I do not know. I do not know.
So you're saying that we can make a bigger port in Marigot?
But Marigot was supposed to be. If I worked there for a short time, I understood that the original plan for Marigot Fisheries was to also be a port as well.
Okay.
But that was incomplete. That wasn't seen through. And there wasn't a change of government to say a change of government came in, so they changed the plans. You understand me? So we have an incomplete institution in Marigot. Marigot Fisheries, I think it should reach come to its completion stage so that it can serve its purpose, it will meet its main purpose. If you keep having projects that you have to short circuit to out another fire, then you maybe have too much projects doing. Focus on one, complete one. Let's see the full implementation of that project because all projects have a reason for it. All projects have a projection of it. The profitability of it has to be good for you to continue the project. You're not going to build a project that's a liability 100%.
True.
Good. So
Because
then,
look at
go
this.
ahead.
We working on the international airport, but then now we also working on the marina in Roseville. We're gonna not in Roseville in Cabrits, and we also
Yes.
broke ground supposedly for the what is that thing that they're supposed to be doing in Roseville where they got the loan for the from the Saudi Arabian
The
guy.
Rosa Rehabilitation Project.
You know, there's so many different projects that's supposed to be going on.
Ongoing. Yeah.
They're ongoing. I think that we spread thin with all these projects that's supposed to be going. I think we are spread out too thin, and we need to start focusing on a project, like you said, and completing it.
And completing it. That is it.
Completing
That
it.
is it. Now I can understand where you're in a situation where people need to see action is happening. I understand that part of politics. But your politics have to be we started and completed. Has to be that we started and completed so then we can say even if you did not give us solid policies or you at least give us a structure or something like that. Because you understand me?
Yeah.
But we have to ask those questions because we want to understand what is really the objective of this administration. Is it just to contain and keep holding on a power, or is it to really and truly develop Dominica? Because at
Or
the end
is,
of the day,
or is it something? Is it something that is being hidden? Why they don't want to relinquish power?
to relinquish, and I believe that if we sit and analyze the statistics, we would see a pattern. We would see a pattern. I don't know if people really want to look at the pattern and ask questions, but we should. I know that the rehabilitation project, only a patch of road from Fresh Market to the terminal, from Fort Young to the terminal, that alone, For now, you can say for now
For now,
because for now,
because
understand me?
I don't think they can undertake everything in one.
They can't take everything in one state, but they that again lack of information. We don't know, so we have to assume.
Assume.
And when we are making our assumptions, whether they're ridiculous or they're on point, it's still an assumption at the end of the day. Yeah. So then my issue, my one of my main issues is that the lack of transparency or lack of information coming in. We have to be begging for information. That should not have been. That shouldn't have been. At least if you have to hire somebody to talk, hire me to talk. I'll talk for you. But I'll talk what I see. I'll talk what I don't tell me to talk. But we need those informations out. We need accurate information out. We need truth. Understand me? Don't hide nothing from us.
Yeah, man. I believe like again I said, I believe if we are more transparent with the people, with the more people on board, no matter who it is, no matter if the next party comes or no matter if the current administration is there, we need to be more transparent so the people can feel trusting.
Of course.
You know?
Of
Like
course.
for instance, the other day, when Donald Trump won the election, he had certain things he was saying, "Oh, I gonna do this, I gonna do, I gonna," and as soon as he got in there, he started doing. It might not be what everybody wanted,
Wanted. Yeah.
but he's being transparent with his actions because why he
Yeah.
said, "I was going to go and do this." You know, I was
Yeah.
going to declare male and female. I was gonna deport mass deportation. I was gonna do all these things. Which
And he's
as
doing
well
it.
as power, he started doing.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
do we have a government that will say, well, I'm going to do these things here, and they start showing us the plans, that is what they're going to do. Because that's what we need. We need transparency. We need to see. We are too caught blindsided by actions that is taking place and not by actually seeing what is taking place, or being
But
told what is taking place.
just thinking about that same thing about the government itself. I remember not too long, some contractors from at I think is either Bush side or that side. They were working on some houses in the housing project for the government, and these contractors were complaining that they were not being paid, and they were told to use their monies and to be reimbursed. They used their monies and were not reimbursed, and these were supporters of the party, supporters of the government. Understand me? That's how they got the project maybe in the first place. But to hear contractors, local contractors, plead and cry for what is due unto them is already another bad sighting on the government itself. How can we approve projects without the appropriate funds to pay it off? What if the contractor, yes, let's say the project was scheduled to be finished in 6 months, but this contractor is so efficient in his work ethics that in 3 months he completed it. How do you respond to that?
So that
Understand me? So it just I don't know, man. I don't know. I just a lot of questions to ask, man. A lot of questions to ask. Look at. I don't know who is in charge. I don't know who should be in charge. Who should public works? Who's Minister of Public Works? Person should be in charge of the. I mean, that would be a. That'd be a chat. That'd be. No. Look at it. No, look at it. No, look at it.
No, I know
How
who
is
the
that?
Minister of Public Works.
You don't know
I know who is the Minister of Public Works.
who's Minister of Public Works?
Our parliament.
Listen to me. Listen to me. He's just one man. He's just one man. What is his plan to resurface? Resurface. You are saying resurface? Not reconstruct, but resurface roads island wide. How is that going to happen?
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question. He was supposed to have a meeting yesterday with the Chinese people for a grant. Speaking on information that I received from our illustrious leader, where he stated that the minister of public works is going to have a meeting with the Chinese, I think it's ambassador or some Chinese people,
Yeah.
for the construction or resurfacing of the road from Hatton Garden to Portsmouth.
Okay. There's one strip. That's one route.
Good. Because the road from Emerald Pool to to Caribbean
Was done, yeah.
is done, basically. So if we're getting a grant to redo the road from Hatton Garden out to Portsmouth from the Chinese, I would assume we'll get another grant to do another piece of road too.
Okay. No. The question is no. Because there's always questions I'm gonna be asking because when we get those, it's a grant we get, not a loan, right? Make sure I understand.
A grant.
Okay.
You can go back and fact check me if you want from his interview he did on Monday at the press conference. Press conference on Monday. That was where he made the statement. We'll be getting a grant for the resurfacing or restructuring of the road from Hatton Garden to Portsmouth.
Okay, which is good. But then that is just one aspect of it as one route. Why I said one route I'm talking about island-wide resurfacing.
I heard you. So that's why I said probably after that is done, we'll get another grant.
So we'll be dependent on grants and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. Because again, we have lost our. Does Dominica export anything? That's the question I should ask. What is Dominica's export? What is Dominica's main means of revenue? Outside of the sales of passports, which have dwindled, what is Dominica's main revenue stream?
It's a good question.
Do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer to that. Tell me the answer.
I don't know the answer neither. You know?
Man, this is just where we at right now. And I don't understand how that can be the best place to be. You understand me?
So as again, we need transparency. What is Dominica's main form of revenue outside of the sales of passports?
You understand me? And then we got to look at this other look at that project that I think a lot of money was spent to that project. That was a geothermal energy project. Where is that project? What is the state of that project now? What has become of that project? You understand me?
The project is coming along because the other day I saw them bringing some equipment for installation at the project site. Came in on the ship. They were transported up from the port to the project site.
So how long? So it has been ongoing for a couple of years now, right? Well, for quite a few years now. For quite a few years, we can say.
Last year, they signed a contract with a Canadian company I read this, to do the completion of the project. The Canadian company is gonna own the project, own the site for a few years, and then transfer it over to Dominica.
So the government. So what you're telling me is the government no longer has that project.
You can everything I tell you can fact check.
Yeah, but the government, if based on what you said, that the government doesn't have that project anymore.
I don't say that, sir. What I said was they gave it to a Canadian company to complete the project. Whatever they signed a memorandum of understanding, I don't know. So I can't give you details because then again, I'm speaking of information that was brought to the public.
That was brought to you.
You get what I mean? So if there is something in the memorandum that's between them and those things, those are the things. That's why I keep saying again, transparency is needed in order for us to go anywhere in this world today, or us to grow as a country. We need our leaders to be transparent with the people who put them there in power.
I believe so. I really believe so.
Last parliament or a couple parliaments ago, I heard the Honorable from Marigot speaking about the same geothermal plant and how much money was being spent in it. You know?
Basically. Oh boy. I think I'll be tired enough myself.
Yes, me myself too.
Yeah, but then you see, open discussion, we're just passing, trend of thoughts, food for thought, I guess. because we have to question a lot of things that are going on. No, we imagine we've just even we don't even for 2 hours now been talking. We don't even I think we touched on two aspects of that discussion. We have so much more
So much more
that
to
we
talk
can
about.
touch on. You understand? We have to look at if you go into we can go into tourism now and seeing that if you want to go into tourism, then what is the plan to beautify our beaches? How can you mobilize youth groups, make them youth groups get some money, go by the beach, clean on the beach, organize those things. How can we is all those things there? We get in the when we do that, we get in the entire the society involved, getting people involved into making it a tourism centered place. But the fact is, and that's the main fact, we cannot say that Dominica will be centered on tourism only. It has to be pushed by the main resources that it has, which is agriculture. Understand me? So there have to be things in place to boost agriculture even before we look at tourism, because one of the fastest way we can make money is through our export.
Yeah.
The fastest way, if you're looking at business, the fastest turnover is on our export.
It's export, yeah.
Yeah, so while we working on export, we can still mobilize groups. Make them children get something for that.
What are we in abundance of that we can export? Tell off the top of your brain right now, what are we in abundance with that we can export?
But we should be abundance of water here. We have abundance of agricultural produce here. An abundance of agricultural produce here. An abundance. Apple tree going here, brother. Oh God, man. Oh God. Oh gosh. Oh, oh us, man. Oh us. Apple trees growing here.
Strawberries growing here in up
Strawberries.
when you go up to what's that place there? What's that big lake up there? So what's the name, man?
Where that?
Freshwater Lake. Strawberries growing up there.
Well, in Cochrane, I know somebody that was growing strawberries in Cochrane.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
those are the things, and those are wild strawberries as well too. So much as if we take the effort now and start planting these things.
And planting these things, exactly. So looking at that, yeah, we want to go into it too. I believe there's ways that we can get into it and can get people to beautify our beaches. But then that would be another project on itself, because we don't want to just, because I've seen where groups come together, beautify the beach, look real nice, but then take it a couple of years again for that to happen.
Well, look for instance, Westmead Beach, Cabana Beach was on that beautification process.
Yeah.
After the initiation, what has happened?
That's it.
What has happened? And I just talking to something close to home.
Close to home, exactly. That is very true.
So there's, but you see, one thing I gonna say, you see, Wolfertil Beach. I admire the work that the people in Wolfertil, I don't know,
that's put into it there.
Whoever is doing on their beach. That is, their beach is kept clean. There's security there. Those are the things also we need to look into.
Yes, definitely.
Providing security, and security that's also trained in first aid to be able to help individuals if there's a drowning incident taking place.
Yeah, we need lifeguard too.
Put a lifeguard there to provide that extra comfort for our tourists.
For people, yeah.
Put a little bar there for people to come and buy.
Definitely. And develop it properly.
Those are the things we need to look into. I'm not saying the village council need to do that, but somebody in the village can take the initiative and put a bar there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Put a bar there. So when I come on the beach and I want a beer,
it is right there.
It's right there. Yeah. I want a juice. You might not get sales in big abundance, but
it has to be implemented there, because that's how it's going to start.
Oh.
And we have to make the initiation. You have to make the implementation. I should say in coding, we say implementation. You have to do that.
Because then now, if I know it have beers on the beach, I might come on the beach more often.
More often, exactly. And then, sometimes, they're going on an island tour and there's tourists here, a little music playing. They want to know what music they're playing there. When they go and pull up by the bar, then they end up spending $100 there because they meet people they like to see, and they just bounce with friendly people, give a friendly person a drink. That is how it does happen. But
then
if
you also advertise your bar on the beach and say,
yes,
you talk to one of the tour guys and say, yo, come on for the beach, man. Have a little bar there. Come and support. Bring a busload of tourists this real quick. You know, we spend
Yeah.
a little 5 minutes there so and let them go on their business. You get what I'm saying? So those
Yeah.
are the things. Initiative. People
Can take.
in all the talking, Fedi and I have been talking here. We talk about transparency and people taking initiative and reflecting on things. We also giving you some ideas here now where you structurize your marketing and you make sense for you to develop your product.
Your product, of course. I believe in a bar and restaurant. Don't forget a bar and restaurant, and you just give it a nice tropical design. You don't have to go, and put too much concrete. Give it a nice tropical design, and you can have some local cuisines there, crab and kalaloo there, and all kind of thing going on, and make it luxurious because we have some very good meals, dishes there that is expensive.
And if you team up with let's say you team up with a guy like Shy Guy, I say Shy Guy, every time you get a tour, try and come with Wood for Till. And when you're on the way, tell me you coming so I can prepare something because you don't want to. This is what you don't want to. You don't want to go and spend money and can't get no money back. You get what I'm saying? So crab and kalaloo may be an expensive dish. You don't want to go and prepare crab and kalaloo and then you don't get no sale for the day. You don't want to go and serve it the next day and give running belly. So you know, you say, Shy Guy, well, tell the people and them, I have crab and kalaloo and I have fried chicken and bakes. That's my two things I have for today.
Yeah.
So now they come in with the anticipation, well, it's either crab and kalaloo or fried chicken and bakes they're gonna get. You get what I'm saying? So the people already know what they're going to get.
To get it, of course.
So that is what I believe is marketing. You put yourself out there and take the initiative.
And you also put in a section there, beach bath towels and beach umbrellas there. So you can lie down. All those things, man, can come into play.
Beach chairs. You
understand me? Beach chairs and things. Yeah, some parents come with their children and the children want to go in the beach, but the parents don't really want to go in the water. Instead of the parents say, turn away, sit down and watch them, but the whole beer too. $5, $6, $7, grab a beer. So it have ways we can rise above all the negative things, but we have to take initiative. The next thing is somebody might say, well, what if I don't get financial assistance to do that or push there, whatever I do at the moment to do by division? How do they move from there then, Caro?
Boy. Look for private sponsorship. Talk to a friend. Tell a friend.
Or partnership too. Partnership with somebody.
Partnership. I might not have the finance, but I might have the idea. You get what I'm saying? I bring the idea to you. I see my partner Lavi coming on the live there, so I don't know if he can join me for 2 seconds just to do a quick promotion on his events he have coming up. Lavi, I don't know if you have the time. Come up and give us a 2 second or your time there, so quick promo on your events you have coming up. I know you had the Wesley is having a carnival this year. So I'm gonna send you the picture they sent me there for the Wesley Carnival.
Yeah, do that. Let me get that. You know on WhatsApp?
Yeah, put on WhatsApp. You want me to send it on WhatsApp?
So you know WhatsApp, I'll do the rest to get it out as quickly as possible.
Boom. They also have T-shirts that they selling, or I think that's what they're selling. They're also looking for sponsors. If not sponsor, like people to help sponsor the event. So if there is anybody who can help in the sponsorship, you can reach out to me, Lavi Entertainment, and we will get them their funds when necessary. This Saturday up here in Atlanta, if you're in the Atlanta area, we doing a cookout with CC, with Celsia at Caribbean Cuisine. It's I'm gonna send you the flyer one time. You just post it up as we're talking about it there.
Because they'll have a chance to look at it and see what's going on.
Yeah,
no problem.
Quick flyer thing there. So that's how we coming to our end here. So my people, I'd like to thank you guys because we've been on here for what? Wow. We were normal 2 hours.
Yeah.
But we each one we need to help promote our island. I'm still working on. The other day I was talking to yesterday. As I was out driving in this cold weather snow. I meet a man. I tell him, "Yo, you ever hear about Dominica?" He said, "No, I'm from." And he tell me he's from Colombia.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Never heard. Yeah.
Never hear about Dominica to show him where Dominica be on the map. You know, so those are the things. Marketing, talking about what we have to offer to our people. So my people, I am grateful for you guys tuning in for just sharing your opinion and your thoughts, for all the comments that we got so far. You know, all these things. It was nice, man. We have the Carnival Gopwell on the 27th. If you are in Dominica, go and see the partner. What's his name again? Young brother, straight out of Trinidad, performing. What's the song again? What's that song that it's a song I always sing, you know? A song I always singing. But yeah, young brother singing his song, his new hit single, the 27th. Get your tickets. Mahendra, I have a ticket for you. Please reach out to me, Mahendra. When you get a chance, reach out to me. I have a ticket for you. And I'll be doing another ticket giveaway coming up. I think the event is next week, Wednesday, the 27th. So I might do another ticket giveaway on Monday. Monday or Tuesday, I'll do a giveaway. The night before, the day before, one of them.
Before.
Monday or Tuesday, I'll do a giveaway again. So if you have a friend in Dominica, you want to get somebody a ticket, reach out to me. I can help you get your tickets. But I'll be giving away a ticket on Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to be doing a show with Young Brother. He's going to be live with us. So yeah, we'll have Young Brother in the studios with us.
All right. So we had that's the Wesley event committee. The Carnival.
That's the shirts that they are offering.
And then we have this one here.
Yeah, well, that's the fish fry with Celsia. For Celsia, that's at the 22nd. So that's this weekend. That's Saturday evening. Fish fry, 9 p.m. Sponsors is Optimistic Song and T2O Trap Water.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two events.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right.
Those are the events.
If you do want to get your events posted on Carlos Media, reach out to myself, and he'll post on his page. You can also post on my page. And we will do our best to promote your events that's coming up. And we'd like to thank you guys again for tuning in and for listening to Fido and myself, Carlos Media. Have a blessed afternoon. Stay productive. Stay learning. Stay vigilant and stop complaining. Life is a journey. Life is a journey. There's gonna be ups and there's gonna be downs. We just gotta keep on the focus, keep on mission, and know that it will be beneficial to us one day. So
Definitely.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a blessed and productive day.
Well, this is Carlos Media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah. Well, this is